Hi guys, welcome to the channel. So this week we are going to make a really quick and easy recipe. The only time consuming part is when it's actually in the oven, and it's going to take like 30 minutes in the oven. No big deal. You can go about your day while it's cooking up, and it is going to be a dessert, which is super easy and Dr. McDougall approved. So if anybody is on the starch solution, then you know that Dr. McDougall's recipes and his advice is just amazing because it really helps us keep on track and live a very low fat and high carb life. So this is an old recipe book that I bought secondhand, and every once in a while I pull it out and try something that I haven't had already. So I felt like I needed a dessert instead of going out to find a dessert, which I can't find anything oil-free. I don't know where you live, but there are no oil-free desserts where I am. So it would be a cheat basically if I went out. Anyway, that's why I try to make my own desserts at home, and that way it keeps me from, cheating and having unhealthy things. So yeah, I decided to try these brownies. I'm not a huge chocolate fan, but brownies I do like. So I thought, let's try this out. And actually, I think I like these brownies better. And most people would disagree with me because they like that really sweet, strong, sugary brownie, and these are not it. These, I mean, you'd have to add more sugar if you wanted that effect, but it does call for a cup of sugar, and you can use whatever you have on hand. But once it's mixed through, and there's so many prunes in it, and there's I put oat flour, it's not overly sweet at all. So the recipe turned out really well. If you are not used to super healthy desserts though, you may want to alter it a little bit and maybe decrease the amount of prunes in the recipe. It's just a little bit strong. I like it. I'm used to eating prunes. I actually really love prunes. So it is a perfect dessert for me. But if you are not used to it, or you're not a huge prune fan, then you may want to find an alternative to the prunes, or maybe just add more sugar. I'm not sure how you could alter it, but I'm just giving you that pre-warning. If you're used to healthy desserts, then this is amazing. I absolutely love it. This is definitely something I'm going to be making quite often because at least it's a dessert that we know is made with whole foods. So yeah, anyway, let's get into it and I'll show you guys how easy it is. Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. So here is the quick and easy recipe by Dr. McDougall. So here I am just making my prune paste, and I'm just showing you, I just bought these prunes. They were just from the bulk store. I guess you can get them anywhere. You can get them bagged probably in a grocery store maybe, depending on where you live. So I'm not sure how much I have here, but I'm going to estimate maybe about 2 cups of the prunes. And then I go ahead and add really hot water into my processor, and then I just puree it. That's how I make my prune paste. Again, I'm not sure if other people make it differently, but that's what I do. And then you just store any extra in the fridge in an airtight container, and it keeps really well. So now I'm just using the egg replacer. I just have Bob's Red Mill, that's what I'm using. And then I'm just going to add the water and mix that up. I'm going to use a whisk just to get all those clumps out, and then it will start to get nice and frothy, and I just kind of set it aside until I needed it. I don't use egg replacer that often, but every once in a while I do use it, so I always keep a bag of the Bob's Red Mill. So I'm just using some date sugar that I had on hand. All I had was that or brown sugar, so that's just what I'm using. So my brownies were super datey, but you can use whatever sugar you have and you want to use. It just asks for regular, I guess, white sugar, but use whatever you feel is best. So yeah, I'm just mixing all that up, and it is quite a workout to mix it nicely, but it does start binding and the sugar will start absorbing into the prune paste. And I guess you don't have to be so fussy about it, but I like to mix it really well. So for those of you that are wondering, this is from the McDougall Quick and Easy Cookbook, and I will link the picture so you guys can see the old school cookbook that I did find secondhand. And this is on page 272. So if you do have this version, I guess it would be page 272, and I'm not sure if it's been updated. If it has, then it might be on a different page. But yeah, it says, prep time is 15 minutes, cooking time is 30 minutes, and it has 16 servings. So in Dr. McDougall's recipes, he does suggest other things other than the date paste. In this particular recipe, in this old cookbook, he asks for Wonderslim. I don't know what the heck Wonderslim is, but I'm going to go with the prune puree just because I know what that is. It's easy for me to find, and I always have some in a container in the fridge as well, so it's just super easy for me to use. So now you're going to go ahead and get that, egg replacer nice and frothy, and yeah, just keep on whisking it. And then you're going to add that to the prune puree and the sugar and mix that completely, and yeah, move on to the next step. So as far as baking it goes, it did take the 30 minutes for me in my oven, but I guess you just have to be mindful of your oven and decide how long you're going to cook it up. But it was accurate for me. It was 30 minutes to bake it. And I just put it in one big, square glass baking dish. But if you don't have a, large enough dish, you could probably make this into 2 small ones and just pop those in the oven, and then be mindful of the timing as well. This is just one of those recipes that, it's really easy and versatile, and, you can use whatever you have on hand. I love these types of recipes that, only include a few ingredients, healthy ingredients, and you can whip up in no time at all. Okay, so the original recipe asks for a cup of unbleached flour, but I always have, like I said, my oats. You guys know I always grind my own oat flour, so that's what I'm using, and then baking powder and baking soda. And yeah, just add those in, give it a little mix. I really like oat flour just because I feel like it works with so many recipes, and I always have one that's like really ground up, and then I have one that kind of has some texture. So depending on what I'm baking or what I'm using it for, I have both alternatives, and I buy oats in bulk, and so I have like tons of oats here, so it's really easy and really cheap for me. And then I have a Vitamix container that's meant for flour, so I can literally make flour in like a couple seconds, and I put it in a large mason jar, and it stores super well in the cupboard. So it does ask for some salt. A 1/4 teaspoon of salt will go in as well into the recipe. And then the cocoa. So he asks for reduced fat cocoa powder, 2/3 cup. This is just the natural cacao powder that I found at my local health store. So that's what I'm using. And I've used it in many recipes. It's really good. So I'm just going to be mixing that up. And then you're going to go ahead and combine everything once this is nice and mixed up. So I just want to take a minute, just, I know Dr. McDougall's not watching my videos, but I feel just super thankful that, he is around to guide us and give us some, nutritional sound advice. And, him and Dr. Bernard are just like my absolute favorite. I love them. They always provide us with, great recipes, great alternatives. They give us wonderful health ideas and, simple things that we can implement. I just, I'm very thankful for these particular doctors, just because, they're just completely life-changing, and they're not asking for you to make, crazy health changes. These are things that are so easy to implement. I mean, who doesn't want to eat like a ton of starch all the time? And, the low fat thing, honestly, is not that hard to, incorporate into your diet. You just get used to avoiding certain things or minimizing how many avocados you're having, or nuts or seeds. It is honestly really easy, and when they explain it, it just makes sense, and it makes everything so much easier. And yeah, I feel very thankful, because without doctors like this, I mean, we wouldn't know what to do. We'd be, living that standard American diet and always yo-yo dieting and not knowing what we're doing. But, now that they're here to help us, and they have been for years, it's just, I guess, lately, a lot of their work has come to light, and I'm really glad that that's happened. So yeah, I mean, when I found these old recipe books by both of the doctors, I was really excited, because sometimes you need some inspiration. Sometimes you want to try something different, because I get stuck in eating the same things all the time. I really have to branch out and try different things. So this is a good way for me to do that. So I went to my local thrift shop, and I found this old school baking dish. I was like super happy. If anybody knows me well, you guys know that I love thrifting, and the first thing that I go to is the cookware, because I really like that old school cookware. It really lasts a long time. I mean, these dishes are like probably older than me, some of them, and they're still going strong and you're still able to use them no problem. And I find that things don't stick as much in them. They're just such good quality. So I always go and check it out and see, you know, a lot of people, as people pass away, a lot of family members donate a lot of items, and I get really lucky. So when I find items like this, I pick them up immediately. And I think this thing was like $3, and I thought that's a really good price, and I'm going to be using it for a really long time. This was perfect for my brownies, so that's what I'm using. So if you like your brownies a little sweeter, then I would suggest adding a little more sugar. I know there's already 1 cup in it, and for me, I think that's a lot. But if you know, you like your brownies really sweet, then I suggest adding a little bit more sugar just to sweeten those guys up, because they will taste quite pruny. And yeah, here is the page on the book of the recipe. And I'll show you guys what the book looks like. This is it. Look how young they look. Amazing. I love this cookbook. So I'm definitely going to be looking through a few more of these recipes and seeing what other gems are hidden in this book. So after cutting it, this is what it looked like. So delicious. It was, again, it took 30 minutes and it was cooked perfectly in my oven. So my teenager found it a little bit too strong with the prunes. So if I make it again for the kids to have, then I will decrease the prunes perhaps, or make 2 batches, because I like it like this, and you know, just alter it slightly for them, just because they found it a little bit too strong with the prunes. But yeah, I mean, if you wanted to, you could add some walnuts to this and make it, you know, pretty traditional as far as brownies go. But again, we're cutting down on the fat, so we're not adding those walnuts in. But if you wanted to, even on top, to sprinkle a little bit, or if you're taking these brownies somewhere and you think it would look nicer and taste better and appeal to everyone, then go ahead and add some nuts to the brownies. But like I said, they turned out perfectly just the way they are. So the lighting in my kitchen didn't do it justice, but these are absolutely delicious, and I hope you try them out. Let me know if you do in the comments below. So yeah, my hair ended up to be super short now that it's like natural and curly. I'm still getting used to it. And of course it is darker, like I had mentioned in my last video, but it is growing on me, and at least if we go into lockdown, like I said in the last video, I'm set because my hair is really short. Anyone else do these crazy things where you just chop off all your hair or change the color dramatically, or is it just me? I know COVID made people do some crazy things with their hair, so, and they were doing it at home. So props to you guys, because I just let it grow and grow until I was like Rapunzel. Anyway, thanks so much for being here, guys. Thanks for being here this week and always, and I will see you guys really soon in the next video. Oh, and King wants to say bye too. King, who's there? Who's there, King? Yeah. Bye guys. Take care. Thanks for watching.